Startup Business Festival participants and colleagues, welcome once again to our session. Today we'll actually be in conversation with an amazing gentleman who is an entrepreneur, but he's also gone a step further to actually, help to build the capacity and capabilities of other entrepreneurs. He is an author of 7 books, and I'm not saying it's not a joke, colleagues. 7 books, and it's fascinating that this year actually marks 8 years since basically you started your journey as an author.
Yes.
Please take us through, introduce yourself to the team and the entrepreneurial community. We've got amazing entrepreneurs joining us, and from different parts of the country, also different parts of the continent, which is fantastic. And they're all basically looking at celebrating all things entrepreneurship and innovation. So this month for us is basically Entrepreneurship Month.
Yeah.
Please just take them through who you are and your journey.
All right. My name is Tiisetso Maloma. I'm an entrepreneur, but you could say I'm this naive person who's sort of went after most of the things that I wanted to do. Background-wise, school-wise, I studied accounting at the University of Johannesburg. Therefrom, I think immediately I ventured into business. I remember it like a graphic design business. At some point, this was still when I was in university. I was a DJ. I've been in a lot of industries. I've made clothes, like I used to design clothes, make them. We had 2 clothing labels. I used to work for a company that was in the music and television business. So I've worn many hats. I've ventured in a lot of things. Currently now, well, it's the books, and we run a publishing company called Lucky. I've got a lot of interest. Like if I'm interested in something, I do it. Collectively, that has helped me to as sort of content for my books. So the first book is called Forget the Business Plan, is a short model. How it came about is that, entrepreneurship had dealt with me as it does to a lot of people. I moved back home, I was broke. All I had was a laptop, and I thought, what can I do to be productive in this sort of time when I'm figuring out what to do? And then I realized I had an article that, what was it? It was like essential business components. It was a set of 6 components, and I realized, look, this thing I could stretch it to a book. And then what gave me that idea is that I had been listening to, rather reading articles by a guy called James Altucher, as an entrepreneur, an investor, American. So he said, like, who said a book has to be 200 pages? Could be 50.
Talking about that, I was actually in a conversation with an entrepreneur, which I thought, this guy has guts.
Sure.
You know what he did?
Yeah.
He wrote and published a 4-page book.
Yeah.
So I was talking to him, and I'm saying, but I know a lot of people are saying, I'm sitting with my manuscript.
Yeah.
And it's probably 100 pages, but they're saying it doesn't feel like it's complete.
Yeah.
What gives you the courage to actually publish a 4-page book?
Yeah.
And his
I was
response,
to hear his
his response is that, the message, basically, it's not really about all these things, but it's about getting the message to its essence.
Yeah.
And he felt that basically what he needed to say, he actually could capture it only in 4.
That's
4
interesting.
pages.
And then how much was it selling it for?
I must check what the price is.
I think that would be an easy sell, actually.
I think that would be easy.
If you're selling it for $10, you can sell it to, I don't know, hundreds of people in a day, in a week.
We must actually bring him.
That's a smart. I like that, actually.
I was really very fascinated to say this actually, there shouldn't be an excuse actually for doing stuff. And I'm very fascinated by your journey, having transitioned to different sectors, different spaces.
Yeah.
What actually drives you?
I think, like I said, I'm just naive. I'm naive. If I want to do something, I do it. But I would say with particularly with the writing, even before I was an entrepreneur, I've always, even at school, high school, I've always been good with writing essays. Not English essays, but like economics, I think particularly economics, and I would write like that essay in 5 minutes or so.
Wow.
So like I've always said, like my mind, I would say it works with a bit of models. When you give me an economic concept, a business concept, I can easily break it down, and I know how to fill the page with whatever talks to that sort of framework. So
that is very fascinating. So I mean, the art and science of transitioning. I mean, so you transition from different sectors, different spaces, and so forth. How did you get to actually conceptualize and get to a point where you're saying, I'm going into the books. Of course, you said that you're broke and you had your laptop and then basically sat down to but the whole process of actually believing in the concept and seeing it through. Maybe take us through that whole process.
As I was saying that story, that I had someone say who says it has to be 200 pages.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I hate business plans. I think this, like the book, the title says, forget the business plan, is a short novel. I hate business plans because I've written hundreds of them. They're tedious. It's not a document that every day you can easily go through and update. So let me maybe just to show you the model. So it's I'm gonna maybe show it in a bit of a mathematical sense. So it's the first component is product. I call it actually product. Okay. Marketing, distribution, cash flow. Maybe let me just concentrate on the four. Yeah. So your product, your marketing, your distribution should equal cash flow. If not, it means there's something wrong either with your product, with your marketing, or with your distribution. So distribution, in essence, just how you get products to people. We are in a day where today we don't really need to have shops, although I think they are essential. But if you're a startup entrepreneur, you can mail it to people. It was that sort of sense. So it's just a basic model: product, marketing, distribution. It should equal to cash flow. So I was like, this is actually maybe a 4-page book, but I stretched it to 50 because there are a couple of stories and examples, because I like kind of like giving analogies and in that sort of sense. And it was a product. I'm fascinated when something is a product. With writing, I write every day. Even now, I write every day. I try to at least write every day. Because I love writing. It's something that sort of fits me. Mm-hmm. So good enough that I've been in different industries, so I've got kind of like diverse perspective, maybe to form a theory, maybe to form a model, and I can even steal from other people because I read and I like it. But that's what I do every day. Wow. Wake up in the morning, read for an hour, write for an hour. Like I've been doing that for maybe 7 years. Wow. And I mean, it's not like in December I do it. December it's a different month. December was. So that's amazing. All my books basically, it's me realizing a certain model to explain a certain concept. So in a sense, you could say I'm simplifying entrepreneurship concepts. That's amazing. I mean, and I think we need that. When we talk here at the Startup Business Festival, our mandate and our objective really is to make entrepreneurship fashionable and attainable. Yeah. For us to actually be able to do this, I mean, we need people like yourself who can actually create content that people on the ground can be able to relate to. I'm still very much interested in the first book. Okay. How long did it take you to actually complete it? I don't quite remember, but probably 3 months. Wow. Yeah, 3 to 4, 2 to 4. Wow. Because I mean, like I knew what to put in, so it was just a matter of refining it. And it came out in 2012 towards the end. I think it only came out on Amazon then. Mm-hmm. And then the following year, that's when went and printed. I had a book. I was an author. So yeah, that's amazing. Sure. So take me through the process of really. Okay, now here's you're sitting with your laptop, packaging this. It's like a person basically who's got an idea, right? Yeah. And the idea is to actually build this startup. Yeah. Because when I'm looking at your book, I see it as a startup. Yeah. I can compare it with a startup. I think it's that. It is actually. Yeah. So you need to believe in it. You need to nurture it until it grows. You need to ensure that it's packaged well. Take me through that whole process of from ideation to actual implementation to packaging. Yeah. Just that what it took basically to actually be able to
get the first one done.
What's
Let's
that
get the
box?
first
Maybe
one, right?
yeah, it's called Forget the Business Plan. Just, I wanna show you something. So
Yeah.
in terms of the content, I think I was satisfied. I had a model in mind.
Okay.
Like I said, that framework that I gave you,
Yes.
and it simplifies sort of entrepreneurship. Like imagine you wake up, you've got a board on your wall, or just even an A4 sheet.
Yeah.
It's product, marketing, distribution, cash flow. You just look at that and
Sure.
you write whatever it needs to be done for the day. I think that's an easy way.
I love this. I love this.
So,
I absolutely love it.
I was sure in terms of the content. So you know, I also graphic design. I'm self-taught graphic designer.
So you literally you're a team. You're the entire band.
So I was the entire band because you know, one of my first businesses, maybe second, because I used to run like sound equipment back in the days. So it was whenever someone said they wanted a logo, I would take the money and get a graphic designer to do it. And then somewhere somehow, not being satisfied with what graphic designer gave me, I would tinker with designing logos.
Logo, wow.
So I mean, for the book, so I mean, you can imagine it's the content in the book, and then it's the cover.
Yeah.
So here I stole that concept. You know that Run DMC concept. You know that old hip hop band with is it Reverend Ran?
Yes.
I don't know if so they had like this T-shirt. It was like it's kind of like a red thing here.
Yeah.
And then a red sort of like this thing. It's kind of like maybe the same size. And it was
what?
Run DMC or something. Because I just took that concept like.
And then this is beautiful.
I mean, it's a module. So I saw that as a module. I mean,
and
just creativity, taking something and
applied
reshaping it, and then it became the cover.
I love this. You know what I like about it. I mean, is the the fact that it's timeless. I mean, if you're looking at the branding itself.
Yes.
And I mean, it can appeal to people whether you are in South Africa or anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I love the simplicity of it.
Sure.
You know, and I mean, I can relate to the design. The colors also very much, and the messaging as well.
Yeah.
Forget the business plan. This has been a pain for a lot of entrepreneurs actually, because you go through business support and somebody, a consultant writes a business plan for you, and somehow you can't even sell it to the investors. Maybe maybe take us through what you're solving for here.
Yeah, so like that model I mentioned, product marketing, distribution to equal to cash flow.
Sure.
In a simple sense, when you understand like that model, you can really define what's in your product, define what is your marketing. You can easily go write any business plan because you've got sort of the roots of your business.
Sure.
I've got sort of frameworks to each. Like for example, in marketing, I describe it this way. You know, the conventional way you say your target market. I flip it around. I say you must mark your buying targets, meaning you're a startup.
I like that.
And then you think, I've got this product. This is who can use it, who can benefit from it.
Yeah.
So you say, okay, maybe it's people in Soweto, people in Mamelodi, Zentin, it's teachers, it's lawyers. Like write all those people down and think to yourself, who can buy the quickest? And start to market to those people.
So I love this, because it's actually about narrowcasting. So you're not broadcasting, but you can zone into actual customers and define them. And
it's expensive again to reach.
Absolutely, the mass.
Yes, the
you can go directly to where they are.
Yeah.
Are they in a checks environment? Where are they? And you can go to one place in a most effective way. I love this.
Yeah, and then I mean, well, now with Facebook and ads and all these things, because this came out in 2012.
Yeah.
I think Facebook ads were not really.
As strong as
was Facebook there then? Then it was there because I jumped onto it in 2008.
Yeah.
So, but ads like that, they were not there in a sense accessible to everyone. I don't know, I could be lying, but I don't think I was thinking Facebook ads there.
Sure.
So you think in that particular way. So where do you find teachers if it's teachers?
Sure.
Is it at schools? Is the teachers convention in Epidie? Is the teachers magazine or forum that you can just approach? So it's around those angles. If it doesn't work, if they don't buy, you go to the next one, or again you go home and you readjust your priorities in terms of who do you market to. So I guess that's It was a simplifying framework, basically.
I mean, this is awesome. So for an entrepreneur who wants to read this, what would you say would be the, I mean, without going too much into the details of the of the content, I mean, what has been the feedback that you've been receiving from young entrepreneurs who've actually been reading the books?
People say they love sort of the concept that they can have their business, goals, like daily goals, weekly goals, sort of in one page. Wow. In a way, product, marketing, distribution should equal to cash flow. So it's like a no-brainer when they wake up and like, okay, I need to do something for my product. I need to do something for my marketing. I need to do something for my distribution. Because if you're not really producing income, there's something wrong there. Your product, your marketing, your distribution, and then you can go change it. Or
that's amazing. And I'm very delighted to inform you that, I mean, as an entrepreneur in the festival, I mean, you do get a chance to win these. We've got a number of activities, to drive engagement as well, pitching sessions and so forth. So we have lots of these, and I mean, if you guys require more, I mean, you would also be sharing a little bit on how you can actually get the books later on. I mean, I'm fascinated. So this is book number 1. And that we've addressed.
Sure.
Which is then your second book after this?
It was it's Township Biz Adjacent. Township Biz Fastrack.
Is it this one?
Okay, no, it's not here.
Okay, let's get it. Let's get the book. Okay, to actually come. The team is busy getting it for us. As the team is getting it for us,
bring that one. Doesn't bring that one and the other one.
Okay, super. So we've got 7 books. Colleagues, this is amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So I mean, what I'm loving about this, colleagues, is that we are reading a book from our very own. I mean, I know this sentiment for so many years. I mean, I remember I knew you before you wrote the book.
Yeah.
When you were still running Gable Hut.
We were still both studying.
We're still in university at the time,
Yeah.
To see what you've done then in the last 7 years, 8 years, I mean, it's fascinating.
Yeah, thank you.
It makes one very proud.
Yeah.
Hence, I'm saying, guys, I recommend that let's read the books and let's support our own. This is a festival where we're celebrating all things entrepreneurship and innovation, and the best way to do it is consume our own content and ensure that we can learn in the process and empower ourselves. Yeah. Let's talk about the second book.
This one, Township Biz Fastrack.
Okay.
So I wrote this one as a free book, actually.
Oh, wow.
At first it was just free. So I mean, I just got a concept like, we look down on township businesses.
Yeah.
And they actually, the way that they are started, because at home as well, we had a sponsorship. The way they started, like they start small, which is the same concept as any startup elsewhere in the States or in the world. So when you start small, say for example, this is your street. This is like maybe the main framework of the book.
Yeah.
This is your street. Buy cold drink maybe 500 meters up, and then the street it's 1.5 kilometers long. So meaning everyone on this side will walk more than 500 kilometers to go by that road.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see, entrepreneurs think of meeting an opportunity. Like if I could sell it here, it means people will, not cross over and walk to the other shop. That's decent. That's how it starts.
And it's convenience for them.
It's convenience.
I'm talking about this how, as a person who's very much embedded within the entrepreneurship ecosystem, and having done so much for the ecosystem as well, and giving us tools that we can use or books that can help capacitate us. How do you define an entrepreneur?
Hey man, for me, like I said, I've just been naive, and I'm saying I'm an entrepreneur. So I guess that's maybe one of the definitions. I guess it's just someone who goes for an opportunity, and particularly they've got skin in the game, meaning they put up their own funds.
Yeah.
I'm not saying always put up your own funds, but you'll do anything to make it a success.
Yeah.
I don't wait for third parties to happen. Like with the first book, I said to myself, I'm not even gonna look for a publisher. I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna publish it. I'm gonna do the cover. I'm gonna learn how to design the layout of the book, and then I'm gonna learn how to convert a manuscript into an ebook and get it onto Amazon. So I did those. So kind of like I said, I'm saying skin in the game. I'm willing to learn and to because I didn't have funds then to actually put out a book. And I'm glad I did it because now I can judge the quality of people who do things for me now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really
I guess that's an entrepreneur is an opportunity and they go for it.
awesome.
They figure out a way to put together the resources, could be pawning your laptop or your fridge or something like making it happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love this. They make things happen. You know, they're path makers, they're future makers, they're job creators.
Sure.
So many different ones. Take us through it. So in essence, the book is about what looking like what is Township Track? I mean, looking for Fast Track.
Yeah.
All about. Is it really just facilitating quicker access to goods and services?
No, I'm just showing that how to start a business. Like with that example of selling cold drink, what you do is then you go and buy maybe a case of Coca-Cola, you mix it up, and then because you don't have money basically.
Sure.
If you had a lot of money, maybe you start something different. But also there you could fail and the pain will be pain. But anyway, you buy a case of cold drink. Maybe let's just say you've overstocked on Coca-Cola, and then when people come and buy, they want Sprite. And then that's customers validating what they want. So they're giving you the information. And then from that information, you know what to go and stock. So it's kind of like customer feedback. You're interacting with the customers. You get into the market the quickest. And then also they say to you, maybe one acha or one bread. And then whatever you go and stock up, it's information that they've given you.
So you don't stock what you think they want.
I mean, to start, you can do that,
but
ultimately,
you start small. Data and insights, you can get them from them as they
yes. So it's you're moving up, and then maybe when you can order 10 cases because you sold a couple, now you stop buying from the local bottle store. You can ask Coca-Cola to deliver to you because they've got minimums. I think the minimum is 10 cases. I don't know now.
Yeah.
Back in the years ago, it was like 10 cases. So you can now go order directly from Coca-Cola, and then it's bulk discount. So that's the essence of Township Biz Fastrack. It's just showing easier ways of starting a business and what you can get customer feedback. And in that whole sense, it's kind of like you actually, when you're starting a sponsorship, it's a startup basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it just sort of tells different stories, and then I've got other stories from two entrepreneurs in terms of how they started and they ran their businesses.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
It's a simple book. How many pages is it? It's like 58 pages. So
wow, that's incredible.
This is my favorite, by the way. Out of all the books.
What do you like most about it?
I think it's because of the feedback that I've got.
Wow.
I've got a couple of schools, incubators buying the book like annually. So they're just happy with it. That kind of like opens them. It opens their mind in terms of what is entrepreneurship with a local context, with a South African context.
Wow.
So I think that's what, like from the feedback, like I never thought, because like I said, I wrote it as a free book, and then someone said, "Hey man,
this book is a hit.
It's something." So this was like, and I didn't think maybe I was gonna go on being an author, and then like, oh, okay, I brought it back, and then boom.
So this was the second book.
This was
wow.
Second book, it was free at first,
and then you changed.
Maybe a year later, we converted it into.
How do you work on pricing? I mean, pricing is a big issue for a lot of entrepreneurs. How do you price such a priceless piece of work?
I think pricing. There's so many theories on it. Also, for me, it's still a bit of a challenge. So, like now we are in bookstores, so you can't play around with pricing because it's all the bookstores in the country that. So you have to give it a fair amount. Obviously, the first thing you look at is the amount at which you print it at. What's the normal units that you print, because with books printing, the more you print, the cheaper it gets.
Yeah.
So if you're doing like minimums of 200, then I'd like to base it on like this book. It's 175. I mean, it's in bookstores. It considers a lot of factors in terms of bookstores take their percentage. There's couriering, there's a distributor, and so I mean the price basically you're pushed by sort of the underlying cost and the people involved. But for this book, like it's different, man. When I was making clothing, because Gable High was like a premium brand,
yeah.
So it was priced a bit high. Not a bit, it was high.
No, I remember Google Heights very well. I mean, I remember you had these, not just normal material. T-shirts. You could stretch it. It had some velvet thing as well on it in terms of
some
those trackers. I remember that.
It was called, that range was called Gable Heights and continued to like
it was the tractors and
and
I remember that. I can't forget it because it was not similar to like you.
So
it was very unique.
It was made from scratch. It wasn't like just buying a t-shirt from a shop.
You're making the actual. Wow.
So even in that, I had to learn the whole process.
Wow.
I had to pay someone to do patterns. I had to go and find fabric.
Wow.
And I was looking for a particular fabric.
And that fabric, I can't forget it. I mean, so many years later. And just the quality and the colors. I mean, it's very, very unique colors.
So, like, in terms of creativity, we really we spend a lot of effort on it. So,
that's amazing. That's amazing. So let's move on to book number 3. So let me
show
them this so they can see it if you haven't seen it. So this is Township Fastrack.
Township Biz Fastrack.
Township
Biz
or business. Okay, I see that the biz there. Township Biz Fastrack. Looking forward to my weekend. Weekend is going to be fun. So I'm going to be going through a lot of books. Exciting stuff. So let's look at book number 3.
3 will be this one. Tiisetso Maloma.
Wow. Take us through the inspiration behind this.
So this is like, like I said, I blog almost every day.
Okay.
Or at least Monday to Friday.
Wow.
And Friday is not so always.
Before you go into the book, what discipline is a big part of actually being able to do this? How did you develop that discipline muscle?
And I think it's maybe being not disciplined. So it's like this. Like in the day, whatever work you're doing can stress you. So I realized that I need to wake up and do the things that speak to me. Like they're not necessarily for money. Well, they can turn out into a book, but writing it's like I'm a writer. I mean, like I get joy out of writing. So if I've read in the morning and I've written, it means I've fulfilled something for myself. So it's kind of like a buffer for that the day shouldn't get too stressful for me. So it's not necessarily just discipline. I know that when I've read and I've written, I'm happy. Like
it's fulfilling.
It's fulfilling.
Wow.
And then, like I'm saying, it's kind of like a cushioning for all the stresses that I'll encounter in that day. So it's kind of like, yes, it's discipline, but it's if I don't do it, then I feel
there's something missing.
There's something missing, and when the day is going bad, I can always go to it and say, hey, I did something that I liked, and it sort of soothes me, soothes whatever depressing activities I'm doing or when things I'm doing now.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still in conversation with Mr. Tiisetso Maloma, who is an amazing entrepreneur and an author. I mean, he's doing some incredible things for the entrepreneurial ecosystem, bringing us 7 books so far. I know he's probably going to be chasing Mr. John C. Maxwell, who has written lots of books. So this is his 7th book. Hopefully he inspires me as well to write. So I'll be taking master classes maybe on how do we write, what I'm saying, get to write. But this is very, very inspiring. So we looked at the first book, second book, and now we are on our 3rd book.
This is just basically the best of articles that I've written.
Oh wow.
And I thought I can make them into a book. I've got a publishing company as well, so let me put it out.
Wow.
And because also it's articles that people love. So essentially that's what this book is about.
But it's interesting, I mean, to look at that your journey started with that article that highlighted the 6 things. You want to just maybe remind the people that are watching us, what are those 6 things that you wrote that actually were the precursor for these books that we're now sitting and exploring?
It was an article, like I said, where I wrote 6 components. Like earlier on, I didn't mention the 2. So it's your product, it's your marketing, it's your distribution. They should equal to cash flow. So if they don't do that, you go and rise. what's wrong with your product? Is your product wrong, or is there something wrong with it? Is it your marketing? Is it your distribution? And the sixth one was relentlessness. I think I should have used another word, but anyway, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you are relentless, it means you can be able to go to your product and look at what's wrong. You can be able to go look at your marketing and see what's wrong. You can be able to go and look at your distribution and see what's wrong. So that's the fifth component.
So how do you define relentlessness or being relentless?
It's going back and correcting whatever we're doing right. Like I'm saying, with the marketing, with the product, or with the distribution. So I mean, you can't just say, "I'm not making money, I'm giving up."
Yeah,
you should go back and
explore
and
see what's
yeah,
investigate.
And the last one was the sixth one. I call it happiness, and then I say happiness is equals to decision making. What I mean by that is that without deciding, you won't go anywhere. So imagine if I was stuck in saying I'm looking for a publisher. So the book would never been out. So you need to be decisive. So the decision needs to allow you to take action. So my decision was, let me write it without approaching a publisher. Let me get an editor without, like I'm self-publishing. Like the first book was self-published. Wow. So the decision was that I'm going to do it. And I'm going to, if I didn't know how to graphic design, I was going to learn. Or I was going to pay someone if I had the funds. The other one is the layout design of the book. I told myself, oh, I just made a decision that I'm going to dedicate a week to figuring out how to design a layout. Google, YouTube, all those things. So if you're decisive, you can make progress. Waiting for third parties to say yes to you, and then if they don't say yes, then what? It means you can't progress. So decision making is just there for me.
I mean, this is very fascinating. What you're saying is very fascinating because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, and in this time, I mean, I'm sorry to use this word, these are the spoon-fed generation, where literally, as an entrepreneur, we feel like, everything has to be done for us, and I love the example that you're giving us to say, if, for instance, you were waiting for a government department to fund you to publish, probably we would not be sitting here. Sure. Conversation. Yeah. You'll be waiting for the first book to be done, but it will be somebody else doing it for you or giving you the resources. But
and then, I learned all those things before the book, so it was sort of my past entrepreneurial pursuits, and I kind of like just formed a philosophy in terms of how to approach things.
Wow.
And then when I was writing those, I applied them. So again, whatever I was writing in there, things that I had applied.
This is incredible. Yeah, I love that. I mean, just not waiting for the sun to be right, for the weather to be perfect. Let's get started. I mean, as you know, entrepreneurship is about action as well. I mean, it's about not waiting until everything is ready, not waiting until the resources are there. Starting where you are and gradually, incrementally getting to where you want to go.
Yeah,
I love this, man. And so how many articles do we have in
I don't know it. I tried not to make it. It's about 110 pages. Okay. Wow. So let me see. So it's about I don't know, maybe 87 articles. So just the best of the best of articles that I've written, and people have validated that we love this. We love this, and they range from different topics, from motivation to how to start. Like different, like it's more the storytelling that I did on articles. So it's that fantastic. Yeah. Wow. Let me say, also show that, okay, guys, exciting stuff ahead. You can actually get a chance to win these books through participating in the pitching competitions that are happening. We've got a jam-packed program for you, and we'll also be inviting Mr. Tiisetso Maloma again to come and actually perhaps conduct a master class or something during the course of the festival. Yeah. Let's move on to book number 4. Number 4. It will be this one. Okay, number 4. Okay, so I'm going to put that in that order. Right. An anxious entrepreneur.
Oh wow. Okay. So for my anxious entrepreneurs, what's the story about this?
So the subtitle to that book is that anxiety defeats creativity and creativity defeats anxiety. So
I like that.
Like I see things in sort of frameworkish thing way modules. So the model was that, like, I mean, entrepreneurship will disappoint you. Right? Like you get into different depressive zones.
Yeah,
I've been in those. So and then over the years, I kind of like figured um, what's going on, and I read a whole lot of how other entrepreneurs deal with anxiety, with depression. And also, I don't know if it's a disclaimer, but I wasn't trying to write a scientific book. So, yeah, maybe let me just put it out there. I don't know, I don't think it's a disclaimer, but
sure.
I was kind of like trying to tell stories.
Yeah.
So, when you are, like, I mean, when you're an entrepreneur, imagine you've got a product out, you've been pitching, you've been marketing, nothing happens. And obviously, without expecting it, but you are expecting it. You're expecting money to come in, money doesn't come in. And you get into a depressive zone.
Isn't that the story of so many people?
Yeah.
That when you're pitching in different places, submitting your stuff, how do you deal with it?
Yeah. So, like, you get into a depressive zone, and what you start doing is that you start doing depressive, what do you call it, desperation tasks, I call them. Meaning you're just thinking, I can call this person and pitch them whatever I need to pitch. Like, you pitching and you throwing things around and hoping things, but now you're not being thoughtful. You are thinking about yourself, saying, I need to make money. You're not doing like a proper business case for that particular person that you're trying to pitch, and then you just do this tasks out of frustration.
Yeah, no, I see.
And when I get into that zone, I realize that I can't be productive. My creativity is out the window. So what I would then do is that I'll take time off, and it's hard. Even for me today, it's so hard. I'll take time off, sleep, um, go hang out with friends, and what I do find out is that when you go out there and hang out with people, you hear the struggles, you kind of like help each other out, and then maybe someone connects you with a potential client, and then that's for me that's creativity because you're being productive, and then on Monday you can go call them up, and then it's your friend who's introduced you to that person, or just hanging out with fellow entrepreneurs, you can get a bunch of different ideas on how to approach your problems. It goes to that saying that you can't think outside the box when you're in the box. So sometimes just relax and go out there, and you don't have to always be waking, because the more you get into that anxious zone, the less creative you become. Anxiety and creativity don't exist in the same space. So that's essentially what the book is all about. And then it goes through a lot of different stories, methods of being productive. So if I could say, yeah.
That's amazing, and I think this is a book that every entrepreneur needs to read, because we go through very challenging.
That one I would say was more of a success outside the country than
in South Africa. Maybe talk a little bit to that to what.
I mean, just a series. I've done, because of it. I've done a lot of. I've been invited to a bunch of podcasts. Outside SA, and I guess more so in the USA. So I guess people outside maybe relate to. This book came out 2016. So I would say as a bit ahead in terms of talking about anxieties and depressions that entrepreneurs face. And I face myself.
So when we faced it, I've been in a situation where I lost everything.
Yeah.
How do you build that? I felt like I was bruised.
Yeah.
And no one really understands the journey of
sure.
Of an entrepreneur, because you're bruised. I mean, you're even asking yourself, am I actually even in the right path?
Yeah. Maybe even ask you. And then when you were in that particular situation, when you were depressed, were you able to be creative?
No, not at all.
Yeah. And then how did you bounce back? Sort of.
I mean, I think it was basically also moving away from what I was doing and stepping aside for a bit.
Yeah.
Also
So
pursuing.
you cooled down.
I cooled down to focus on also my spiritual self.
Yeah.
Like really delve deeper into my core and center, be centered a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Like pursuing just spiritual growth, finding strength basically in that category. That for me was very important because out of being strong inside, I could actually find strength in terms of really coming up with new ideas, finding perspective, and also because sometimes you get bruised. But the bruising is actually what you have lost, not really looking and celebrating what you actually have, which is priceless.
And that's what I mean when I say anxiety and creativity don't exist in the same zone. You need to disown from that anxious zone, just calm down. That's when you get all these new ideas because whatever you've gone through, it's like an asset of, and then you can mix them up, and then you can come with, like you say, new perspective, new ideas, and then being productive, actually having ideas to work on and getting to work basically.
Awesome. That's our book number 4.
4.
3 books to go. Which is the
sorry.
next one?
What is it?
So we've got 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. There was this other one, is it?
So we've got this one, the Biz.
Oh yes, Township Biz Adjacent.
Yeah.
This is what the book that really started the whole journey of writing about innovation.
Wow.
So you can tell. So so this one is Township Biz Fastrack. This one is Township Biz Adjacent.
Okay.
So I realized. So I came across this model called what is it? The adjacent possible. Okay. It's from it's a biology. It's from what do you call it? It's from theoretic biology.
Yeah.
By Arthur, who's his name? Professor Kaufman. That's a forgot the name.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the adjacent possible is it's like it's right biology. So weird enough, I'm gonna connect it to townships.
Okay.
So in biology, like life started in a simple sense.
Yeah.
Wherein it was singular cellular organisms. They say it's like 3.8 billion years ago. And then now they connected, right? Those single cellular organisms, they matched. And then they created they created multicellular organisms. And multicellular organisms, you've got plants, you've got fungi, you've got protists, you've got animals. Yeah. So that's how innovation happens. So, and then humans are multicellular organisms. So for us to be there, life started in a very basic way, meaning how it innovated is that it makes 2 things. So innovation, you are mixing 2 or more things. Yeah. And then so it makes until it goes to human beings. So when there was just those single cellular organisms, which I think bacteria and archaea. Yeah. Multicellular organisms, human beings were an adjacent possible. So that's what an adjacent possible is.
I see. That's a powerful concept.
So yes. Sure. To bring it back in terms of man-made innovation, someone innovated a chair. Yeah. Someone innovated the wheel, right? And then a wheelchair was an adjacent possible.
As a result of this particular innovation, how else can we apply it? What are the other possible combinations?
Yes. So when internet came through, banking was already there. So internet banking was an adjacent possible.
Super.
So when you're innovating, you're mixing 2 or more things. You're mixing 2 or more things. So that's what you do when you innovate, even in a township context. Yeah. That's what you really need to do when you. So I'm just bringing a lead to that. Here's what innovation is about. If you are in Soweto, what can you innovate? I give a very absurd example. I say, we know the problem in our community is high blood pressure, hypertension. Yeah. Is it hypertension?
It is.
Yeah. So, and then what can you mix to make a product that's novel? So it's also there's a thing of novelty, meaning when you're just making something that exists already. Not necessarily. You're being competitive, maybe. You've got a lot of competition, but when you're going to create something that's not there, that's when you call it a novel thing, right? So there was a point where human beings were a novel thing. Now, in a township context, how do you make novels? Maybe you figure out a way to make a t-shirt that lowers high blood pressure. So you're taking that problem of high blood pressure and you mixing it with a certain. I'm not saying that it exists, but why can't it exist? Because there was a point where someone was thinking maybe there could be a flying machine, but then a motor engine wasn't made at that point. Maybe just say 300,000 years ago, someone probably thought of a flying machine because they could see a bird fly. Yeah. But now, only when a motor machine was made was an aeroplane possible. So it's like you are thinking ahead. Yeah. And then you've got, for example, so it's got like, I think now it's over 2 million people. Sure. So you're thinking, so it pushes people to think along those frameworks of what can I innovate that's not there yet. I love that. Yeah. I love the adjacent possible. And also, I mean, as you're saying this, I was thinking of Josh Bennett Shaw, who says, I mean, some ask, why not? And some say it's impossible, but I say why not? Yeah. So the idea of saying, you should potentially have a T-shirt that can basically help with the hypertension, regulate hypertension. Yeah. It's actually a beautiful thing because we're saying we can identify what is a pain point for the people and what can we do to effectively address it. Yeah. So for a township young entrepreneur, watching this particular show or episode at the moment, what would you say to them in terms of really encouraging them? Because they seem to be classed as township entrepreneurs. I mean, look, see, most companies really make a lot of money from township people. Okay, the other advantage with townships is that, so it's a lot of people per square kilometer, so it's a lot of people. Yeah. So meaning, so it is got like 2 million people. I forgot. Like I wrote down all this square meters, and then it's more populated than say suburbs than all this. And so in townships, it's more especially if you are producing fast-moving consumer goods. Yeah, it's easier to get traction in there. Yeah, and it's easier to get weight around because there's a lot of people. One event, you hit a lot of heads with just one event. So I'm showing also the opportunities in townships in that there are a lot of people and then create products for that those people will consume. So like I was saying with hypertension, maybe millions of people have got it. They are clustered in townships. So maybe that's like I'm just showing the opportunity of townships. Yeah. Your Hennessy's, your Coca-Cola, they make a lot of money in townships. Yeah. Not necessarily in suburbs. Suburbs, yes, but a lot of money is made in townships and rural areas because there's a lot of people and it's easier actually to market to people. When you're starting a business there, it's easier to rent the space. So I'm just bringing all these advantages of a township and showing how really innovation works. That's amazing. That's amazing. So we are now onto our we have 2 books left. 2 books left. 2 books left. So we looked at the Township Biz Adjacent. So maybe talk to this one before you. Just an example. So here you show different examples of the possibilities. The possibilities. Okay. The tools. The tools in terms of how to create something that's not there yet. Like I gave that example. Yeah. I mean, don't be afraid to think in those things, in those sort of ways. And the best way is to do everything you love. Like if you don't know what to do, but you've got a couple of interests, it's easier to delve in your interest. Do your interest, and then because innovation is mixing 2 or more things. Yeah. All those different faculties of somehow they will come together. Who knew that banking could become online? Yeah. In that sort of way. So that's how innovation. There are probably some naysayers saying no, it can't be online. Biology now, or rather medicine, is mixed with technology. There are what do you call them? Cardiac pacemakers? That thing that I mean, that's basically you taking electronical technology and you're mixing it with biology.
That's amazing. And you
Some-
save lives in the process.
You save lives in the process. So do many things that you like, and then that's when you'll get good ideas, because you know what to innovate, you know what to bring together. Because innovation is bringing things together and creating something that wasn't necessarily there.
Just a big question comes to mind.
Yeah.
How can we foster an entrepreneurial culture in South Africa?
That's a big question. I think a lot of people in IT are interested in entrepreneurship. For me, like I said in the beginning, that I'm naive. So I did many things that I like. So I think for everyone, they must just be naive as well and do things that they like. And then they'll get ideas, man. Good ideas come from bad ideas. But you need to have a lot of bad ideas to pick one that's good, or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Kind of like the first book.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been an entrepreneur, if I hadn't done all those things that I've done prior to writing the book, clothing, accounting, all those things, I would have never had the ideas to fill in a book like that.
And that's so true. So all experiences are
All experience I understand, but you must experience it. You must go out there and do things.
Absolutely. And I love this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still hanging out with an amazing entrepreneur, innovator, and an author, like Tiisetso Maloma, who's really been so gracious to us to share basically his journey with his books and basically his entrepreneurial ventures. I know there's a lot more from that we can still discuss and talk about. So we've just looked at book number 5. So let's come to book number 6.
So actually, let's go at them together.
Okay, we can do 6.
So this is the 6th. Actually, they came out together. But I like saying this is the 7th one because it's the big one.
Oh, they came at the same time.
Yeah, I launched them on the same day.
Wow.
So they are all about sort of understanding innovation in the 4th industrial revolution.
Super.
So this one is called Understanding the 4th Industrial Revolution and Innovation History. It's a big title, but I like it that way.
I like the look and feel. It's fantastic. Okay? And I see there's a little bit of...
Yes.
Yeah, I see that.
And I designed that cover as well.
Oh, this is awesome.
So,
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think the only covers that I didn't design was this one, the English Entrepreneur and Township Biz Fastrack, and this one.
But the rest...
So this was designed by a friend called Abram Chivinda.
Wow.
And this is, I hired a lady via one of these platforms.
Yes.
And there was like 3 designers that worked on this.
So it was a truly like a 4IR based kind of a situation.
Yeah, so
it's
kind of like
procuring the actual design.
So so I think I used it was 3 designers.
Wow.
One to draw so one of my favorite cars is the Cybertruck.
Yeah,
so I said put it on Mars. Like I came up with the whole concept actually.
Yeah, put it on Mars.
Put it on Mars. Make it a flying car. So someone did the illustration. No, it was 2 designers. No, I'm sorry. It was
two designers.
No. The first one we didn't go with the design.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay.
But so on this one, I mean the first one we didn't use.
Yeah.
I still have the artwork. I might use it for something else. So someone did the illustration, and then someone put it together into a carve and the backgrounds and Mars and all those things. And then, this one was also done by a friend of mine called brilliant designer. Like
wow.
we've got a brandy.
Look at this.
Yeah, there's this brandy that we're trying to bring to market. He also did the packaging. So it's an amazing guy. It's an amazing designer.
So we must look into bringing some of these guys as well from a design perspective.
Yes.
We are looking at with the Startup Business Festival. We're looking at all things entrepreneurship.
Sure.
Right? So all the different touch points. So we'll be focusing on the 4th week on entrepreneurship for cultural and creative expression. So there, we are hanging out with creative industry entrepreneurs and innovators. So it's lovely to understand the creative process,
Sure.
but at the same time see how we move.
And then
move forward.
I think also here I came up with the concept. But I think what I came up with was the barrier. I don't know, like barrier. This barrier.
Oh yes.
So it's kind of like a brain. This one is stress, and it's like it's got a barrier behind it. It's like
And then
this
this
one
one
is
construction
full of
side when
pain.
they say you can't go.
Yes, you can't go.
You can't go. Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that I came up with.
But it's powerful, eh? It is incredible.
So
I love it.
It's awesome. So
It's amazing.
yeah.
Maybe any parting words to a person who's considering entrepreneurship as a career? Maybe they're in high school at the moment, but they're still trying. I mean, they matriculated this year, and they're wondering where should I go? Should I go to mining engineering, or maybe pursuing my own entrepreneurial ventures?
Yeah, telling someone to go straight into entrepreneurship, I'm afraid of that. Anyway, so I think the other thing about going to school, it's the network. It's really being exposed. Like look at this. If you're pursuing entrepreneurship right from the go, I mean you're not gonna have access to a lot of bright minds. I think going to school, like with me, I always knew that I wanted to pursue entrepreneurship. But well, I come from Limpopo. I was at a boarding school, so I knew that I didn't want to be at home because it's a rural area.
Yeah.
I wanted to come to Joburg.
Yeah.
And then there was no other way that I could escape and go to Joburg. So varsity was quite critical that I move away from home. And I mean, it gave me a lot of exposure. So everything in terms of those sort of ways. Is it giving you exposure or not? What do you want to do? What do you want to pursue entrepreneurially? Go study that maybe. And I mean, the entrepreneurship courses, I don't know how they work, but like I'm just saying, man, be in front of people. I think university, the one thing with it is especially in a South African context, it's being closer to people, being closer to networks. If you're gonna go right at the gate and be an entrepreneur, make sure that you chill with entrepreneurs at least 3 days in the week. So you need to, wherever they are, if they're in town and you are in a township, it means 3 days in that week you must go to town and hang out with people.
I love what you're saying about people.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's about people. Maybe talk to the importance of networking and how it has worked for you. And maybe you can also touch on the startup picnic that you organized.
Yeah. I think my brother, sometimes you just do things without realizing. My little brother made me realize this. He said, whenever we are out, it doesn't matter where we are. You always know people, and you call them up, and they call you up, or even friends from far, they drive from wherever they are and they come to where you are.
Wow.
So I think it's just something that maybe my personality, or maybe I'm kind of like gifted with. So I like being around people, and so now I take pride in knowing people. I make sure that I try to know a lot of people. So I mean, that's networking, that's knowing people. But the best way to know people, you must be doing something.
Absolutely.
You must be a graphic designer. You must be an author. You must be like. No one wants to know you if you're not doing anything interesting. So do stuff, interesting stuff.
Very true.
And then that's when you go to people like great minds, people who are not negative. Because if you are a doer, you wouldn't want to be with people who are. They'll just bring your energy down, and then when you are with people who do things, they take your spirits up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the picnic. Tell me about.
Oh yeah, startup picnic. So. I mean, 2014, I realized that when you go to all these networking events, you've got business cards. It's like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do.
Sure.
You send cards.
Yeah.
The following day, you send them an email. Some respond, some don't. But there's no relationship. It was just a bit too formal. And I thought, let's create an event where, because I realized that meeting people over beer, over activities, it's where you really build it went beyond what this is what I do, this is what they do, kind of like that. It's that I think that
so breaking bread is very nice. Eh?
Yeah,
break bread together and we can connect.
And it's a lot of people just talking about whatever goes. So I thought let's do an event. Let's call it a picnic. It's a networking event.
Yeah.
It's a picnic. It's for entrepreneurs. There's beer. There's volleyball. There's all this sort of different games. There's music, and then since 2014, it's been a beautiful way for me to meet people, and for a lot of people, really, they've met people, they've made business. I know a lot of people who really got business from meeting people at the startup picnic. So
That's amazing.
in a nutshell, that's what it is. It's a picnic for entrepreneurs.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I tell you, I mean, it's only at the Startup Business Festival that you can actually be able to
You know,
to learn and connect with other people. So as we say, we bring enablers, we bring entrepreneurs together, we bring funders and everyone actually in the ecosystem, because we need to make the circle bigger. And it's not only making the circle bigger that we're able to connect the dots and help to scale some of this amazing work that we're here. I mean, this has been really inspirational for me. Just sitting next to this amazing giant. I mean, he is a giant, and in the ecosystem, and he continues to give us some amazing amazing work. I know you also hail from a very I mean, if your family also has been quite instrumental in driving you. Maybe talk to them, give them a shout out. I know they're very very instrumental to where you are today.
Look, like I said, we grew up living in a spaza shop at home. Like most on my father's side, they're business people. Spaza shops, the alcohol business.
Yeah,
that's really what I grew up under, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I grew up under that context. So, like I'm just saying, I'm just grateful, and even today they continue to inspire me. Like my dad works a lot.
Wow.
Works very hard. Works up daily. I've never yeah. So
that's incredible.
I'm grateful.
And where can people find the books?
Yeah. They are in all bookstores across the country. Exclusive books, bargain books, even the smaller bookstores. If you don't find it there, just go to the counter. You'll know where to get it. Or that you get to them within a week. So yeah, in all bookstores, take your lot. They are there. So everywhere.
And what are you currently working on? I know there's a new book that is also likely going to come soon.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to write a book about money, but not how to make money. It's sort of a series around innovation.
Sure.
Tracking what enabled money to be like. Doing a bit of anthropology there, saying our ancestors innovated like 3.3 million years ago. So I'm kind of like bringing it there, and then kind of like, I mean, I'm not sure if it will be a book, but I'm writing everything. So
that's amazing.
But the money and innovation. So what is money? Like they say, money it's a medium of exchange. So medium of exchange, because we've got so many products in front of us, a lot of different books, couch, we're wearing glasses, we're wearing clothes. But innovation started in the basic sense. Remember I said
single cell.
Single cell. Yeah. So again, and then now you've got all these different products. You need to change them. Barter trade becomes difficult. Someone innovates.
So you have to
innovate. So money became an innovation out of that.
Absolutely.
And then also money went through different stages of being from barter trade to commodity money, which is gold, beads.
And check what we're doing now with Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. So it kind of just tracks money from an evolutionary context.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know where to go, but
okay, no,
my mind is on that.
We'll be basically looking out for that.
Yeah.
And we'll be inviting you for more
sure.
things that we'll do together.
And this is a beautiful space, by the way.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. We are at the Business Clinic in Newtown, Center for Entrepreneurship, Leadership and Innovation, and then we're hanging out and having a great time with our brother here. Last question, and this is a bonus question.
Okay, sure.
How would you like to be remembered?
I don't know, I'm an adult, I've made mistakes, I've had people have had me, and all those sort of things. I don't know, people might just remember me for the books. Books are there forever. If they help people, I'm sure people will remember them. So I guess that's how I would like to be remembered. But more than that, I think I'm that person who does whatever they want to do. I think if not being remembered for anything, it's like that spirit of this guy did it, I can do it. Yeah, I think people might just see me as someone who, like them, they can be me, or they can even do better than me. Which yeah, it's a difficult one. I've never been answered that question.
Super. No, thank you, my brother, Colleagues, I mean, that was an amazing engagement session. I mean, looking at different books with our brother, very inspirational to all of us, and I hope that you've been as inspired as I have been. I mean, this has been an amazing opportunity to connect. I mean, we have been connected in about 8 years or so.
Yeah, it's been long.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah, and I'm proud of what you know, what you've been doing, the platform that you give to entrepreneurs like me. It's amazing. And then from UJ, man, I remember you had this organization called IBZ. What?
ABZ.
ABZ. So you've been doing this, being someone making opportunities for others, and I appreciate you for that.
No, thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. I'm humbled. Much appreciated.
No.
Colleagues, with that said, we can say sharp, and then basically go support our brother, and then be on the lookout. He's going to be coming through to do some amazing things. Keep on doing great things as well. I hope this is essentially just to inspire you to actually also pursue your dream. Ultimately, we want to all die empty. This is a brother actually ensuring that he can extract as much from himself as possible and leave it for the next generation. These books will continue to be inspirational for many people. And we, also as a center, we're committing ourselves to supporting him as far as we possibly can, because I believe we need to be reading, and reading. Thank you so much.
Sanbanai Jumelang Shani, hello. Welcome back to the Business Startup Business Festival rather. My name is Cindy Lala and I'm the curator of this amazing festival. We started the day obviously with elections. What an empowering way to start the day, to start the week, looking at, of course, our Global Entrepreneurship Week coming up and looking at our month-long festival as well. And I'm just here to give you a bit of an itinerary, I suppose, in terms of all the activities we have lined up. Just an overview, looking at obviously Startup Business Festival holistically. What we are doing is exploring the 4 different touch points with regards to entrepreneurship sustainability. So in the first week, we have obviously environmental entrepreneurship, and yes, we have Kickstart the first week, and then we have, of course, the second week in the spirit of global entrepreneurship, we have economic entrepreneurship, and the third week we have, of course, social entrepreneurship, and looking at that and unpacking that and plugging people into opportunities and actually having to understand what social entrepreneurship is all about. And then obviously we close it off with cultural entrepreneurship, plugging into the creative economy. This week we have environmental entrepreneurship, looking at all things environmental and plugging it obviously into the technological scope as well. So we've got a beautiful lineup, and like I said, we started off the day great, of course, with the elections, and this festival for me personally and also my team, I believe, has been very empowering. And we are looking at obviously with regards to the welcome we had, of course, the key address by our CEO, our business clinic CEO, Mr. Lucky Litelu, in terms of just introducing what this festival is about and what our aims and objectives are, and what we are looking to accomplish with this amazing 1 month long festival. I mean, we are breaking ground here in terms of just the holistic approach to entrepreneurship and creating a different language around micro and macro enterprises as well. So I'm going to tell you what we have jam-packed week, and I'm absolutely excited. We've got masterclasses, we've got panel discussions. Yeah, we're going to unpack a whole lot of things. We've got highly esteemed speakers, of course. We've got showcases. We've got lots and lots and lots and lots and exhibitions as well. And we're just plugging in, of course. Reporting live from the business clinic. That's how we are. We're about empowerment, we're about creation, we're about innovation, and I believe that we are the leaders in this economical struggle, if you will, in terms of plugging directly into entrepreneurship and empowering people in that sense. So let's get into it. Monday, as I've said, we've had our keynote speaker, Mr. CEO Lucky Litelu, and then we are, of course, myself, Cindy Lala, and we are unpacking tomorrow, actually Tuesday, which will be the 2nd of the month. And our first keynote address, looking at 10 o'clock, we have Mr. Ashton Mpofu. He's an analyst rather, a senior water sector analyst and a green young water profession. So the amount of work that he has done in this green space, looking at water, of course, and empowering people in that regard has been amazing, and would like him to share more with regards to the work that he has done. And you know what, the topic for this discussion, for this keynote address rather, is looking at why do we need enviropreneurs? Why do we need enviropreneurs? And tools, of course. And how do we find these opportunities? So we're not just looking about finding the opportunities, but also creating them. So inculcating a profound level of agency, of course, in terms of taking action, taking your power back in ways that you can. And then we've got two showcases from two enviropreneurs who are doing amazing work out there, looking at the Goethe Institute and looking at plasticity, obviously. So it's all about reuse, recycle, plugging into, of course, the circular economy, because we all know that plastics, 80% of plastics land up in landfills and or incinerators. So how do we sustain actually a way forward in terms of creating solutions around plastic usage and creation as well? So we're looking at the topic is creative solutions for the environment, looking at justice and sustainability. Are these solutions sustainable? And that's what we are about. And we got another showcase titled Come Meet the Entrepreneurs, and that in the sense is the enviropreneurs. And we have two amazing speakers. We've got Elijah Jean, who is founder and CEO of Lubrix, and we've got, of course, Nhlanhla Ndlovu, who is the CEO of Hustle Economics. I love the play on words, Hustle Economics, definitely plugging into our business startup lingo. It's absolutely fantastic. That's what we're all about, innovation, innovation. That's what we continue to do. And, they're just looking at their entrepreneurial journey in terms of how, first of all, they got into the environmental sector and actually plugging that into entrepreneurship, And then obviously another showcase, we're looking at the creative genius, also known as Themba Manchio, and he is the owner of Themba Manchio Design Studio, and he makes beautiful jewelry. And I can't even limit it, reduce it to jewelry. He creates beautiful artwork, and is very talented. So he'll be doing a showcase for us in terms of the work that he does and all the tools that he employs in terms of running his business as well. And also we'll get to see him make a few items. I hope I can get a few items. Don't we love freebies? And then obviously we'll hit it with a lunch break just to chill a bit, take it slow, and then obviously back into action, back into the activities. And we have a jam-packed panel discussion hosted by two powerhouses. Yes, two women within the Goethe Institute. Absolutely amazing. Sibongile Msimango and also Ntombi Radebe. So excited. These powerhouses will be doing so much in terms of enabling us to be the people that we want to see ourselves as, especially as women in these various sectors, So it's very empowering to have that as a woman, And then we are looking at them building living sustainable entrepreneurship entrepreneurial rather ecosystem. So we are all about sustainability, and then we're going to be followed by a couple of podcasts as well from them, and we will disseminate that onto our social media platforms, so you can plug in if you want to listen back and take notes, and get the information that you need. Knowledge is power, but I believe more than anything, the unfed mind devours itself. And then obviously around 4 o'clock, we're just hitting a sundowner session, just networking in terms of people sharing ideas with other people. And they say your network is your net worth, so establishing those connections in terms of how we are plugging into these 4 different touch points of sustainability, and of course at the backdrop of technological innovation, plugging into the 4th industrial revolution. I mean, that's where we are. And I think part of the blessing, I suppose, of COVID is that we've had no choice but to be catapulted into the 4th industrial revolution, because everything had to be technological in terms of social distancing and the adverse effects obviously of COVID. So it's been absolutely amazing in terms of just unpacking what needs to be done and how empowered we can become in terms of actively plugging into the digital economy. And then Wednesday on the 3rd of November, we have masterclass. First thing in the morning, get your bread buttered, get your coffee, get excited, because this one is also going to be quite a kicker. We've got 2 amazing women as well. Miss Erica Alk and of course Jacqueline Dyson. And what they are doing is actually looking at design thinking. So it's not just about creating an environment for your business. No, it's about the ways in which you actually execute and strategize around the things that you want to do, the goals you want to achieve, and in terms of actually thinking differently from the school of thoughts that you've adapted, perhaps in ways that are not conducive to your business. And more than anything, when you speak design thinking, we're talking about the knowledge economy. That's what we are definitely looking at, and knowledge is power, as I've said. So design thinking, yes, with Miss Erica and Miss Jacqueline, that's what we are doing. And then we've got a master class with Mr. Gift, who's our in-house resident, and he's looking at, with regards to pitching, obviously, I mean, looking at thinking design thinking from the previous speakers. Now we can look at ourselves and say, okay, I've strategized in this way. I've done X, Y, and Z to get my business idea out there. And I love how we don't call business ideas, we call them business solutions. Exactly. It's about changing the language. It's about changing the thinking. So Mr. Gift will bless us with a presentation with regards to how does one actually overcome fear and anxiety when it comes to speaking about your brand. We need to embrace the fact that as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, or if you aspire to be that actually you are a walking and talking brand. So it's about overcoming those challenges and how to actually navigate giving the best presentation, regardless of how you feel emotionally, mentally, and just a couple of breathing exercises. I think he might throw that into the equation. And of course, we've got Mr. Gift, another gift. Yes, we are double portioned. We are gifted, another Mr. Gift Lubele, and he will be looking at pitching 101. What are the things that you need? What are the things you need to understand? The information that you have to have at your disposal in terms of looking at what you want to achieve, your goals in the bigger scheme of things, having to really analyze what you're putting out, because, got a pitching session. It has a lot of outputs and a lot of outcomes, but it is important for you to know the message that you want to put out there and how effective it is. I mean, we can all pontificate in terms of our businesses and our ideas. However, we need to make an impact. We need to make an impact with what we say with our words. So we've got pitching sessions that follow right after that. So we've got, like I said, Mr. Lubele, who will be doing a pitching 101, how to have a winning pitch. And then we actually plug it into actual pitches. So we are applying the theory into the practical and looking at one of our cohorts, Sewin, who is proudly part of this family, the TBC family, and they'll be joining us, of course, and seeing if they actually inculcate these lessons that they learn and these tools and these skills that they gain from the gifted presentations. Because yes, we've got two gifts, so we are double portioned gift, and we've got obviously for our Aquatech as well, in-house residents. Amazing. It's part of a program, very empowering, and we are bringing them on board as well to pitch for our accelerator. That's what they're bringing in as well, and looking at and unpacking, I suppose, in terms of what they learned and applying those tools as well. So, and then last but not least, with regards to our pitching sessions, we have Imvelisi entrepreneurs. Also, same thing. Let's see what they bring to the table. Let us see what they bring to the table. And I believe, as in the collaborative effort of us as the Business Startup Festival, what we're looking at to achieve is actually collaboration. That's what it's about. And Africa, I suppose, the proverb "Muntu ngumuntu ngabantu," and we are here to actively break bread and also make money out of it in terms of enriching ourselves, not just financially, but in terms of our mind, designed thinking. That's what we're focusing on. And we're gonna close off the afternoon with some edutainment and screenings, actually. So we're gonna have 21 films. 21 films in 21 days, and we're looking at entrepreneurial films particularly, so in relation to each theme, as I've alluded at the beginning of the conversation. And we've got quite a lot lined up for you, and obviously with that, we're not just going to watch the film, but we're going to actively engage with fellow entrepreneurs as well, and unpack a few thematic concerns with regards to the films that we are viewing, and also looking at how in real life we can not just only unpack that information, but also how do we apply those tools, learning from the great. And that's how we do it. And then Thursday, of course, which is the 4th, we are looking at a masterclass first thing in the morning. Again, get your coffee ready, get your sandwiches. We are kicking off this day with another amazing masterclass. We've got Luntu Masiza, and who is CEO of Changing Your Business Through Theatre. Changing your business through theater. I mean, when I heard that, I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. This is what we're talking about. Innovation. And that's who we are. We are, leaders. We are cheerleaders. We are creatives. We are enablers. And this is what we are actually looking at in terms of innovation. And, his topic is around discussing, being bold in your business, being bold, unapologetic, in terms of what your vision is. But obviously it comes with first setting those goals for yourself and understanding yourself as a brand, as a person, but also the brand in terms of your business that you want to portray. So it's going to be a jam-packed, amazing presentation, I believe, and there's so much to learn. And then we've got another showcase. We're looking at Resolve. I love how it is spelled. Actually, it's Resolve when you actually think about it. And it's a Resolve Challenge presentation hosted by Jacqueline Dyson, who will be hosting obviously on a Tuesday as well. Very, very excited with Miss Elk. Then we've got Showcase Environment Artisans. Yes, our own resident Miss Ivy from Basile Arts Projects will be hosting an exhibition and bringing in two artists who actually work in the circular economy in terms of how we are plugging the environmental entrepreneurship within the arts. And I believe that's going to go together beautifully. And obviously we'll have a conversation around that with regards to how these artists have actually been able and managed to actually execute such brilliant ideas. Again, innovation. How do we marry art with environmental entrepreneurship? How do we do that? Exactly. That's what they're going to look at, and they're going to showcase some of their work, which will absolutely be amazing and empowering, plugging into the different touch points of entrepreneurship and sustainability. And then we will have obviously our keynote address at 2:00, and with Ms. Mr. Sianda rather, Sieko, in terms of the labor International Labor Organization. And the topic that he is unpacking is why we urgently need to develop green skills, tools, and startup. Green skills, tools, and startups. And I'm really excited about that conversation because I don't know the answer right now. And this is part of us breaking bread and the collaborative effort that we are, perpetuating in this space is be willing to learn. It's not just about what we're not defined about by what we know, but we are defined by what we are willing to learn. And I believe that everyone who's going to participate is here to learn and observe as much information as possible. But not just that, we actually give you the tools. We provide the vehicles to actually apply that information, because what is the point? Yes, design thinking, but also execution is paramount for us. And then we've got another pitch actually session with Sewin, one of our cohorts as well, and they'll be running us through their businesses in terms of how their ideas started, their solutions, and actually what they hope to achieve with their brands and their businesses, and how actually it has been empowering for them, I believe strongly, with regards to the skills that they've been taught to gain, and the information and the knowledge that they have been given. And I believe that the outcomes are absolutely fantastic. Self-actualized individuals who actually love what they do, but are not just driven by passion only, but driven by doing. And that's what it is about. And this is what we are doing. And that's what I love about this festival. It's not just about having those conversations in the ethos. No, it's about actually applying the very same principles and the tools that we are encouraging our cohorts to actually apply. So it's not do as I say, it's actually do as I do. And I believe that we lead by example, and it's very empowering for us to be part of that. And then Friday was a Friday, the 5th of November. We're looking at a keynote address. Boom, let's wrap up Friday, Environmental Entrepreneurship Week. It's been a jam-packed week. We've got, we've had showcases, panel discussions, masterclasses. We've had pitch sessions as well. And then we're closing it off on Friday. The thing is, it doesn't end there. That's the thing. The conversation keeps going on and on and on social medias, on all our plugin on our website as well, in terms of continuing the conversation, having to have a reach to the people who actually would like to create a level of dialogue with us. It's absolutely fantastic. We've got Miss Genevieve Da Silva, who is Senior Program Director at Green Matter. Yes, entrepreneurship in the spirit thereof. And what she is looking at is, why does entrepreneurship and mentorship matter? And that's what she's unpacking, because at the end of the day, what we need to know and what we need to learn is that we don't know everything. And we need to be willing to have those who have gone before us unpack and impart the knowledge that they have. And that is part of exactly what we do here, is to unpack and impart that knowledge that we have, but not just in a theoretical perspective, but also practically as well. So that is Miss Genevieve Da Silva. She'll be presenting that for us. And then the next person we have is Miss Elise Hatting. I love her surname. She sounds absolutely amazing. I mean, the work that she has done, when we look at the places she has been, and the worlds that she has navigated in terms of looking at, obviously, entrepreneurship. So she is a trade and industrial policy strategist, looking at researching and sustainable growth, and that's why I find it absolutely amazing in terms of the work that she has done, what she has achieved, and who she is as a person. So that's going to be absolutely amazing, particularly looking at access to finance for entrepreneurs. We can have all the information that we want, theoretically, theologically. However, if we don't have access to finance to actually actualize these solutions, to propel us to the next dimension of who we want to be in terms of business owners, entrepreneurs, there is no point. So this will be a serious plug plug point in terms of navigating finance within what you want to do with regards to your business. And of course, we're going to be followed by a panel discussion. Very excited. We're keeping it hush hush. Why? Because we want to see what you guess on our social medias that, looking at the theme that we have running for the week, what do you think our topic is going to be? And who knows, you might just determine what the topic is, but not really. So we're actually driving sustainable, of course, as environpreneurs, we are driving sustainable growth through entrepreneurship. So hey, be ready for that one. Let's see how we actually do that. And looking at showcases, we have the Makers Corner, looking at gig culture for IR Aquatech, and that's what they're bringing us. We've got the tech, as I've said, we are plugging in to the 4 sustainable points of sustainability and entrepreneurship, and looking at environmental within the first week, the second week looking at the first week and the second week of economical entrepreneurship in the spirit, obviously, of global entrepreneurship. And the third would be, of course, social entrepreneurship, unpacking that. And the fourth being cultural entrepreneurship. So Geek Culture is joining us as obviously in the backdrop of all things technology, all things innovation. Geek Culture is also joining us. And we still have another showcase by them, which is absolutely amazing. And they will show us actually how they actively apply all the knowledge and the skills that they learn in terms of things like coding and creating this and create. The technical jargon is overwhelming, but I am so happy that I don't know these things so that I can always be willing to learn. And I know you're excited to be willing to learn as well. It's the only way we can actually exist as people, not just only exist, but live and thrive. And that's exactly what this festival is about, and I'm very excited. I mean, we're going to wrap up the last bit of the evening with some live entertainment. So we're going to have some music, and we're going to be dancing, let our hair down. I mean, especially me, let my hair down, after celebrating all things environmental entrepreneurship. Absolutely excited. I am beaming. My hair is all over the place. I'm dancing. I'm excited.
Yes, Startup Business Festival.
Yes,
Yay.
Startup Festival.
Startup
We're going
business.
down, baby. We're going down, baby.
Yeah.
We're going down, baby. We're going down.
Okay.
God.
Yes. Everyone is excited, and I know that you are excited as well. It's very empowering, and I'm really, 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 and I thank you to everyone actually within our team who has put this together. First of all, the people who incepted this idea to begin with, to run a month-long festival. This is crazy. That's what we're about. Go big or go home. Reach for the stars. What stars? Stratosphere. That's what we're about. Stratosphere. Creating a new normal for entrepreneurs, and also just having a holistic approach to entrepreneurship. So we are plugging everyone in, collaborative effort, and we are doing this. We are killing it. It's an amazing experience, and I know that we're gonna keep on keeping on. Go start a business,
you.